them come. This is their fate.
All right, all right. Welcome back to the House of Wolves podcast. I am your host, Deontay, here with my friends Jalen and Josh. Literally had no contact today till right this second, so this is really a true how my fellas doing moment. I don't know what's been going on in their lives actually, but welcome back as usual. We got more topics, more things to discuss, but as usual, I always start these off with the same thing. How my fellas doing? Josh, you go first.
Mm.
I'm doing pretty good myself. Recently we had a big storm in New York. It was supposed to be a hurricane, but ended up just being a storm. But uh,
Oh,
none.
okay.
This past few days just been at home, relaxed with the family, stocked up on food a little bit before the storm came, and yeah, school's starting next week, so summer's over.
Back to the old gridiron. Back to the
Yeah,
grind. Same,
yeah.
yeah.
Jalen don't never stop the grind, though, right?
Oh, no, can't stop, won't stop. GameStop.
Man, all gas, no brakes. Not just uh, I've been straight, man. Um, kind of finicky. Like I really don't know what they've been up to. Like you don't talk to us all the time. No, I'm just playing. No, it's been smooth though. Same old, same old. Really ain't got nothing new. I got a little bit more time on my hands because I'm in I ain't gonna say a better clinic, but a different clinic that's a little bit. They use time a little bit more efficiently. So that's pretty much it, though. So
Is it
everything's
closer to
cool.
home?
Man, it's more like 20 minutes away, bro. I can't complain. No, man, I was driving, grinning the whole way there, bro. This morning, halfway asleep, cheesing. I was leaving, cheesing. I'm like, man, I'm only 20 minutes away. Forget them 90-minute commutes.
Oh, that's
Cheesing the
good.
whole way, bro.
That's good. That's good. Uh, but yeah, so yeah, I've been pretty much doing the same. I ain't been doing much. We had a storm come through. We didn't hit us as bad. So it's been good. Can't complain, I suppose. But yeah, just been playing games, playing Hades a lot. Still stuck on Hades himself. He's a cheater. But yeah, so I've been playing that a lot. Just been chilling, watching movies, uh, working, not working out, which I need to get back to because we supposed to hold each other accountable. I just haven't done anything, so I need to get back to that this week, probably today. But yeah, I ain't been doing much. I've just been chilling. A lot of games coming out that I'm interested in playing. A lot of games I'm catching up on. So I just been at the home, relaxing, playing games. Hades is a definite recommend, but we're gonna talk about that as well. Uh, but yeah, now that we got that out the way, the topics at hand, as usual. Like I said, we're gonna be talking about that Hades. I also wanted to talk about like the Avengers because it's been enough updates, I guess. I played it a little bit. I played like 3 hours worth of it yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, this changed. Oh, this changed. Oh, this changed too." So I think I know Josh also played a lot of it more than I, so he probably know a little bit more about the systems when it gets to the end game. But at least from the very first, that initial play, I want to talk about that for myself, and then I also want to talk about like the platform updates, all the new stuff that's coming with the PS5, stuff coming with the Xbox Series X, some of the updates and things that they have now unlocked, some of the potential other stuff that the features per se. And then I also want to talk about Gamescom and see what expectations we have in regards to that. But those are our topics for today. We're going to try to get through it quickly for you guys, and we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. So, yeah. Let's get started. First thing that's on my mind right now is really fresh. It's probably gonna have to be Hades. Because that's legit all I've been playing for the last since I got back. I went to Detroit for a little bit, but since I got back, I've been playing that. non-stop for the last 2 days. Um, but yeah, uh, I guess I guess I'll pose a question, then I'll start. What do you like about Hades, Josh? And I guess Jalen, what? He ain't played it. He ain't got Game Pass. Another day, another day, another convincing session for Jalen to get an Xbox. But he ain't played it. But hopefully
Nah,
he saw something out of it, something, a little something. Maybe he know what the character model looks like, but maybe not.
I'm
But
dead.
Josh, what you like about Hades, man?
Um, I I played the company's previous game, so I was interested in it. But for me,
Mm,
Hades was something that was just easy to pick up and play. Like I liked the gameplay, going out on a run, fighting the different enemies, picking up the different abilities that you can get, and how quickly the gameplay becomes, I guess, addictive. Just because you feel like you got a good, decent uh, toolkit where you can fight like all these difficult fights and go for a long
yeah,
time. But it presents a decent enough challenge. Like I feel like, I don't know if I got enough health, but if I play super carefully, I might be able to get through this. But yeah, it's just really fun. I think the upgrade systems are probably the best thing about it because it just becomes quickly like addictive. Like, oh, just one more room, I can get something else that's going to completely, make this build uh way stronger than anything I've had before.
yeah,
Otherwise, the game overall is just pretty well polished. It's a uh, well, it's 3D, but it's presented from like a 2D angle. But it's very colorful and all the characters and stuff look good. So it's worth $25. It's just that type of game. It's you're gonna go out and die and start over, so you got to be used to that
yeah.
and want to actually keep playing. Which I think the game presents enough ways to keep you interested.
Like, cool. And they were the people that made like Bastion and stuff like that, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Were
it
they
was Bastion and I forgot the other game.
Braid?
It was on PS4. Braid? I don't know if it was Braid. It was Transistor,
Oh yeah.
yeah, the sci-fi
Transistor.
game with the girl with the sword. Yeah.
True. I wonder. I forget who made Braid then. Okay. Um, but yeah. All right. What you got, Jalen? What you got for me? Something good? I'm
Uh,
expecting. High
nah, I mean,
hopes.
I watched
Hopping.
a gameplay video of it today. I had thought about getting it because I know y'all had like recommended and stuff like that, and I was like, I mean, I don't ever buy games and stuff. I mean, like, why not? You know what I'm saying? But then I seen that it wasn't multiplayer. I didn't assume it was multiplayer based off like the gameplay because it, like Josh said, was made by the people that made Bastion, and then just seeing how the game was played and stuff like that, I was like, I can't see this game being multiplayer. So that's when I asked you the question. And then, of course, I seen online and said it wasn't, but that's why I was asking, like, why would I get this game if it's not multiplayer? But it do seem like it'd be an interesting game. I mean, the combat, it seemed like it's super fast paced. Y'all know I like those fast paced games and stuff, so I did think about giving it a shot. Um, and just like I seen a little bit of like the customization and things like that. I just ain't fully wrap my head around a game how it's like a roguelike game or whatever. You know, we get that aspect of the game where when you die, you got to like start back over. And I didn't
Yeah.
fully delve into that because I never played those type of games. The only game I played like that was like Rogue Legacy, and that was
Yeah.
like a real simple version of those type of games. So, but I mean, it looked interesting. I still might give it a shot, even though it is a single player game. I just haven't fully decided yet if that's what I like really want to do. And then you said it's easy to get back in and get back out. You know, them rogue like games is kind of easy to do that with. So I remember spending a lot of time on Rogue Legacy in the past.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think the reason, like, obviously, we always recommend any game to you that we like because it's a good game. But I, from what I remember, you liked Rogue Legacy, and you liked, I think, what was the game, Fury, where you just fight the bosses. But it's just like a simple oh, I got 20 minutes, or I gotta leave, or I'm waiting for somebody to call me, like you, just chilling at home, and just pick it up, play a couple of the different rooms, and it's pretty good combat, so you'll probably enjoy it. But it's easy to pick up and just put it down since it's really no obstacles. As way it's like you got to go through the cutscenes or you got to wait for a save point because it automatically saves, so you just pick up and go.
Yep.
No, that makes sense. I say I'm more inclined to get that game than I am an Xbox. So y'all trying to convince me to get it. Y'all doing a better job with this than the Xbox. I don't know what y'all doing when it comes to
Oh
the Xbox
my
stuff.
god.
I mean, you did say it's $25, which is more than what you was planning on spending on the game.
Exactly.
But if it was Game Pass, you just hop in, you like it, you don't like it, and that answer comes super quick without spending no extra money.
Exactly,
Well,
just like you would have did if. I mean, a good thing they had a beta though, because you straight up was like Back for Blood. You gave that game 2 seconds. That game GG's
man,
now.
my
I'm like, man,
dude's
you ain't
camera
even look
catch
at the
pretty.
whole mechanics. You don't even understand the car system. He said, man, how much is we finished or is we done? That's how he was. Right after we got
Dude,
done with the first act. Like part one, he
dude,
said we finished or we done. I was like, come on, man, you gotta give it a little more time than that.
man, it was
Nah, not
unbearable,
this
dude. I'm
kid.
like, the camera, I kept, man, I couldn't even run through a doorway. I kept missing a doorway. I'm like, I ain't never played an FPS game and I can't get through a doggone doorway because of the way the delay or the latency in the control. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it was the PS4 or the because of the frame rate. It was an option. I don't know, but it was just
To
I
give
couldn't
y'all
play that.
some backstory, Jalen claims, because I believe him, but he claimed that the PS4 Pro version, right, it was running at a bad frame rate and it was very delayed in its responses from when he had hit on the controller to what had happened. So he couldn't even get through stuff. He couldn't get through doors or anything. So basically, it was non-enjoyable for him. But I told him, I said, "You got the PS5, you got the Series X." He said, "Man, this game should be running just as good on this." I mean, I guess if it was 1080p, it should be able to run 60. But I don't know. Maybe it's just broken on there right now. But whatever
Man,
the case may be, Back for Blood was a terrible experience for Jalen.
it was just like the buttons was fine. It was just whenever I tried to rotate the camera, like that part was like throwing me. I was just like, I can't even confidently aim and things like that because I need to wait to see where the thing gonna end up at once I touch the stick. So that was the part that was like it was just throwing me and I couldn't rock with that. But going back to like the Hades thing, uh I was like another reason why I asked if it was multiplayer because I was like, man, Josh did put that 20 on my account for the Final
Uh-huh.
Fantasy 14, but I ain't ever get to play it. So I was like, I feel like I owe him like a purchase or whatever. So like,
We told you
you
to buy
know,
the Game Pass for I mean not the Game Pass, but the Battle Pass for Apex, so you don't have to
man,
buy
you
it
told
again.
me to,
Josh said the same thing. Josh said just
man.
buy it so you get more skins.
I, I felt a stronger inclination for you to want me to buy it than I did, Josh, and that's why I ain't do it. If Josh say do it, I'll go ahead and do it right
Do
now.
you hear this man? I had a stronger man. Whatever, dude. I ain't trying to hear you. This man is annoying. Josh, what's the word, Josh?
If you want me to
I
buy it,
mean,
whatever.
probably the last season Battle Pass would have been better for Jalen, but this one, all they
Exactly.
got is bug costumes, which he ain't gonna use. So,
Right, and that's what I told him
next
because he was at
season.
like 70. I was like, just buy it. You get the stuff that's there, and then you'll probably get like at least half of your money back because you'll probably be able to buy the other one if you do that. But he never did it, so it's
Josh
whatever.
ain't say it.
Man, we had a
Commander
whole
Josh ain't say it.
discussion, man. We had a whole discussion about this. But you're right, you're right, you're right. All right, it ain't my money. He gave it to you, so I can't say nothing. But I think that's a cop out. Yeah, I guess my opinion on Hades is probably similar to Josh's. It's really a good game. It's very addictive, very so much better than Returnal. I don't care what nobody say. And it actually is worth the money, every dollar. I don't think I've had that much enjoyment from Returnal just because it's simply how they set it up and how it kind of and this is not a comparison, but really that's what they are, roguelike games, and Returnal just has bad mechanics at some points, whereas Hades has a pretty enjoyable, situation throughout the entirety of the sit through. So, and their playtime is shorter, you get more enjoyable, it's more addictive. You just, when you play Returnal, you feel like you're going to get punished if you die. The point of a roguelike is to die and learn from your mistakes, but you get extremely punished sometimes, and it's just boring. So I'm not going to finish Returnal, but I am definitely going to beat Hades. And I've met him quite a few times, and he just sucks. Uh, but yeah, I'm going to give
What
that time. Go ahead.
what I guess what's your go-to build
It
like
was the
weapon?
shield. It was the shield for a while. But that's
Dang.
the first one I got there for, like, I got there with the shield like 5 times or something like that. So I didn't fought Hades like 16 or 15 times and lost each time. But I like the shield. I started using the gun because I feel like once you get to shoot one, you can just keep dodging and just shoot it, and it's so easy. But the shield is kind of the same because it homes missiles, everything around it, so it's still fun to play that too. But I really feel like I need a broken build to beat Hades because he's so annoying that even if you try to legit just fight him, like you ain't gonna beat him with that sword because he got area effect attacks that you just cannot dodge. Even if you got old girl, what's her name with the shield, her junk is not good enough. You gonna
Athena.
get smacked.
Yeah.
Athena, yeah. So I mean, I just feel like there are certain builds that you need to have sometimes when you're fighting them because when you're going through those rooms to trying to find the treat, GG's, bro, with all them freaking poison everywhere. I'm like, bro, this poison is annoying. But yeah, you just need something that's a little bit more range and a little close up action. So the shield do both, best of both worlds. But there's also the bombs with the gun that really gets it popping too. So I like all of it. It all mix and match real well. I obviously have my favorite gods. I really like the God of War. I really like the old girl that make him weak, and I also really like Poseidon because he knock him back. So those are my like go tos.
Hmm.
But then I also like Critical Girl. I don't know her name though. It's green. She got the
Artemis.
bow. Yeah, Artemis. She got that bow and she go crazy with the crits. If you get a good build going, then you can really go crazy with a gun or and with crits. So yeah, I mean I like all of them. And I'm probably gonna experiment more with the crit girl now because I really started seeing how useful she could be when you get like good stacks of crits. Like she go crazy, but yeah, I just experiment all the time. I just have fun just going in and seeing, okay, what can I do with this build? What upgrades can I get? What, mirror stuff I can unlock. So, just continuously going through and just, okay, if I get a few more keys, it's really it's not repetitive. It's fun and it's like different every time you go in. Plus, you got the dude that can mix it up, and you got your bad stuff when you go down to see my man's. I don't know his name though either. You go down those potholes, and go into the
Oh,
galaxy
Theon.
world. Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know their names, but I know what they can give me, and he be giving me that good stuff sometimes, like my attack up 50% or whatever. So yeah, it's just cool to play that game and just chill out and play a few runs and stop, and play few more runs and then stop because you like again you can pick it up and drop it, and it's very easy to do so. So I have a lot of fun with it. Plus the story is okay; it's not bad, and I like hearing what they got to say, and they uncovering all these relationships or whatever. I don't know what's up with Dusa, but she always tripping. Um, it's just cool. I guess it's like I like the character design, I like the voice acting, all of it flows together well for a roguelike game. That's $25. Definitely one of my favorite games I played this year. So yeah, I like it a lot, and I recommend it to anybody that
Yeah.
likes those types of games, especially games that you like. Even if you never tried a roguelike game, Hades would probably be the best one to get into to play a roguelike game. Don't start with Returnal. You won't like it. But if you
Yeah.
like Rogue Legacy, or if you play like Rogue Legacy is a little boring. So I'm not boring, but in that aspect, but it's not like upgradable to the point where you feel like you're actually making progress. Really, all the point is to get money, and if you're not really getting that much money, you don't feel like you're producing when you come to your runs. You're not gonna be feel rewarded. But Hades, it's like it's always rewarding, regardless of what you do. Whatever you go in and get, it's gonna come out, and you're gonna have something to actually obtain afterwards, right? Regardless of what you do, and even they reward you for experimenting. So if you go in and just try a different weapon, you're gonna unlock bosses that give you drops that you can't get if you keep using the same weapon. So whatever you do in Hades, you feel rewarded. So that's the good thing about Hades.
That's why I had the issue wrapping my head around it because like you said, like Road Legacy, you just kind of learn from your mistakes. You hoping what they call it RNG give you like a good run or whatever, like stuff that's not as hard, and
Yeah,
you just backtrack and doing the same
you have more
kind of
control
exact
in
areas.
Hades. You have more control.
Yeah.
Yeah, they give you a lot more information.
Yeah,
Well, number one, Rogue Legacy is also a platformer, which Hades is no platforming at all, so you ain't got to
yeah,
worry about that type of stuff. It's just go into the room and fight the enemies. Sometimes there are traps there, but most of the time you ain't really got to worry about traps.
right,
Um,
right, 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 right.
it also gives you information about the next room that you're gonna go to. Like it's like two different paths. Go left and you get, this buff if you win, and go right, you get some health. But it also tells you if it's more difficult, like
Right.
it'll show you can get more health, but this room is more difficult than the room that than what you've been doing so far. So you
Yeah.
can choose to not go that way if you don't want extra challenge or stuff.
Right. If you don't want to
And
fight a
plus,
boss or something, it'll tell you about the skull or whatever. So sometimes.
yeah.
Do,
And
do
plus,
they
like you
give?
said, oh, go ahead.
My bad. You can go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like Deontay said, because it gives you multiple currencies, you can use it to upgrade different things. So
Yeah.
if it is, you play for a long time and lost, it's not wasted because you always can use that to, upgrade your stats permanently or to increase your odds of other stuff showing up, like, oh, more money drops or more healing items might show up or stuff like that. So you always benefit from every run.
Yes.
Okay. No, that makes
Hmm.
sense. I remember on Road Legacy, of course, you got the RNG of like how hard they're gonna make the levels and stuff like that. But you also got the RNG of like what type of like descendant you gonna get. So like obviously, or in a game, everybody is like a lineage or whatever, but you might get the dude that ain't got no disabilities or something like that. But then you might get another dude where he might move slower. Or I ain't
Oh
played in a
yeah,
long time, so I don't know like any of the debuffs. But you might just get a bad run just because your hero or the lineage that you got, he not good at doing this, or he can't jump as high, like he got like limp legs, or just
yeah.
that weird stuff that just kind of make this
This
next
game ain't got
run
no debuffs
defective.
by default. Like
Yeah. You
there
got to
are
choose
debuffs,
to
but they
debuff
come like
yourself.
later, and you got to choose if you want to do it or not.
Yeah.
But like it
Okay.
ain't no baked in. You have to have a debuff.
Right. Yep. So, like I said, I think it's really cool. The mechanics has a lot of longevity to it. I've been playing. I'm pretty sure I've played like 20 hours or so or more, if not more, because I played it for like 12 hours for 2 days straight. So I know I played it a
Yeah.
lot. Um,
I
yeah,
don't know what was my total time, but I think the whole run, like to complete it, took 40 minutes. But
yeah,
I used the gun because that was the
gotcha.
one that worked the best, and you can get some really good
Buffs
builds
with it.
going. The
Hmm.
one I actually hated was the shield.
You hated the
uh,
shield?
yeah, like I would get pretty far, but like I could not get past certain bosses with the shield, and I'm like, this was easy with every single weapon, but the shield, I just feel so underpowered. Maybe obviously I didn't have the right buffs to go with the shield
Nah,
because
you
his
gotta buff
playstyle
the
is
special.
different.
You can't be buffing the attack. Buff the special, and start
Yeah.
slanging that thing, man. That thing go crazy, especially when you get like weak buffs and you put like and you get the one where it blows up when it comes snaps back to you. So you just go stand by
Hmm.
him and throw it, and then it hits them, and then it comes back and you hit them for another 40, and then you could do a buff on them like when you're Cause I would mix him with God of War, right, or the God of War guy. Cause then when I'm actually dodging, I leave those little spikes. So not only am I, dodging their hits, I'm hitting them with Y, but then I'm also waiting for it to come back and it does an area effect damage. So I was getting them up out of there quickly. It was crazy, but that one when I had two broken builds when I had the shield and I had the buff with the God of War, the weak lady that gets him weak, and the drunkard, the hunger guy, the hungover guy. So it was those three together plus the snapback and my shield can hit more people before it returns buffs. And then I had the what's that dude name? I think I had lightning as my like aid. I wish you can buff the aids a little bit more, because
Hmm.
they don't feel like they really that good. They can get you out of a tight spot if you need it, but they're not like I don't use them that often. Honestly, I use them when I get them,
Do you
but
wait till it's like level 4?
I do not because
'Cause
I feel like it's easier to. I feel like it's better to use them when I'm like following up for a last kill hit and I need like just a little bit more damage. And I don't
Mhm.
feel like waiting for my shield to either return or I don't have the opportunity to like dodge next to somebody or they just like really bashing me and I'm about to die. And I feel like if I don't just pull this off real quick, I might lose. So I'd use it for that. Or if I'm fighting something
Yeah.
really annoying, like
Some of them are not good.
yeah,
I like Poseidon's because it makes you invincible and you can do
yeah,
damage. And if you do level 4 or whatever, you can keep it for like 10 seconds.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it really is good. Like when you find the Hydra boss, you can just go around in circles and hit all of them for a bunch of damage. So
yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's not really like you said as versatile or not as upgradable, but it's
Hmm.
there as an extra benefit.
Right, right,
Um,
right. Yeah, I think those are
yeah,
pretty cool too. And yeah, it's a bunch of stuff in there, man. It's like the whole idea of debuffing yourself to get a buff afterwards. The whole um, it's the what was I finna say? It was like all of the things, like the additional things you can add on to yourself to actually get like more buffs and stuff like that because you can have like a bunch like I think it's like what you got like 16 slots or is it like 8? I forget how many really it is. I think it's like 12 or something the slots that you can have
no,
on
it's a lot. It's like 18 that you can have
yeah, yeah,
total.
yeah, that's what I thought. It's something around 18 or 16.
But I don't know how you're gonna get 18 because you have to get something in every single room.
Right. And that's where you kind of start to and I don't know how that works, to be honest, because it's like you can get stuff from you can buy stuff. Like if you got money, you could probably get a little bit more stuff, but at the same time, you have to buy stuff, also be going into rooms that only give you stuff, so you have to have those money perks that really give you a lot of money when you're actually doing stuff. And then I had like the perks that give you the chest, the treasure troves, that gives you those like it was like every so often they give me one. And then there was the one where it gave me an additional like 50% more either on my keys or whatever I get, you know what I'm saying? So those things kind of stacked up to the point where I had like I remember the highest I got was 12. Yeah, I had like 12 things on me. But yeah, man, I like that game a lot. It's cool. But yeah. But yeah, moving past Hades, 10 out of 10 for me. We wanted to talk about. I think we wanted to talk about the next thing was the Avengers and their new system. So this one here is going to be a bulk of the conversation. Really going to just be around because I don't really know much about the game outside of its systems. I haven't beaten any of the stories. I played a little bit of Black Panthers now. What I can say is that I enjoy that stuff is free. So all of the original characters they have free passes now. You don't have to pay for them or you don't have to pick one. They're all free. So that's great. You can upgrade every last one of them and get all the original season or passes, and those are free. Um, and then you also get the expansions for free. So I'm playing Black Panther, and I think the other two are free. I think it's the Black Hawkeye, and then Kate. I don't know why she's there, but which I mean whatever. She's a good character, I suppose. Uh, but yeah, the the only the only thing uh that I guess I don't like right now is um I mean it's still the same, I guess. It doesn't feel as impactful as a I wouldn't even go as far to say a Warframe at this point. It's not like customizable. It's not you're not customizing nothing. You got like yeah, it just doesn't feel worth your my time. I feel like it's an okay game now. I feel like they're respectful of your time. I feel like I'm getting power ups and level ups quicker than I used to. There's like multiple, skill slots, and there's multiple, trees. There's the mastery tree now. I didn't even see that before. I didn't know that was even in the game. Maybe that was day one, but the only ones I saw was the two, but they had a mastery now. Um, so it seems interesting. You get to customize your character in different costumes and things like that. There's obviously the whole random RNG, parts to your body or to your suit that you get, but it's just missing something for me. What you been? I guess what's your thoughts on Avengers as of now, Josh? 'Cause I know you've been playing a lot of the DLC, also the story mode and all that good jazz.
Yeah, I played through all the main campaigns, and um, they were decent. I say that, like you said, it is missing something, and obviously, I think the core of the issue is not a good um live service game. Like it's a decent single player game. Like some of the missions are too repetitive because it has to be replayable and you gotta get loot and stuff like that. But if they were just unique, just go to this base. This is a unique base. You fight the boss, and the story moves on. Like it's fine. All that stuff is fine, and the combat feels okay. The upgrade trees are got some interesting moves. Like the characters feel different enough. Like at first when they announced Hawkeye and his daughter were coming out back to back, I was like, it's dumb. They're basically the same character, but they have a lot of skill overlap, but how they play is different because like the daughter can blink like a warlock, but Hawkeye is about setting up traps and stuff like that. So it feels different.
Mhm.
So the combat is there. The story is it's okay. It's not really thing special, but if you like the characters, you want to keep playing with them. It is just really the mission design is boring, like standing around, hacking a computer, standing in a circle to wait for the thing to go. And these robot enemies just keep respawning. Um, Eventually the levels start to recycle, so you keep going out to the snowy area, and then you go out to the desert, which is why the last two DLCs have been more interesting to me. At least they were giving us new environments. Wakanda
Mhm.
seems to be the biggest DLC as far as like new content, because
Okay.
I mean I only played like the first mission of Wakanda, but from that I didn't see anything that was just copy and pasted from a different map. Um, so we'll see how much content is actually there, but I still think that whatever is there is good for probably one playthrough, but I don't see any reason to like play it through myself and then play it again with you and then hop online every week to fight new challenges and stuff because they have weekly things show up. Go fight Black Widow this week and you unlock something. But it's like I don't really care enough to come back because it doesn't feel satisfying because how to put it. Well, I was telling you about one boss fight. It's against the Hulk, and like I didn't like the boss fight, but the thing is that maybe I was not overpowered enough or leveled enough to do it, but I don't feel like playing 8 to 10, multiplayer matches just to get myself stronger so I can beat this.
Right.
And I was already in the missions playing offline. So in order to like get help, I had to quit, do the mission over online. It's like I don't really want to do that. So I don't know. It just feels like a lot of tension that the game could have been better as a single player or even just like a 4-player co-op game. Like that's fine. But
Beat
like
'em up,
all this
mash 'em.
extra,
Yeah.
yeah, all this extra stuff where you gotta buy a battle pass for each character and you know weekly and daily challenges and they got bounties like destinies like all this extra stuff is actually putting me to sleep.
It's actually boring. It's actually, causing it more harm than it is good. Because my thing was, okay, I want to be able to play, and that's the philosophy difference, is that their philosophy is that they want to keep you engaged in the game as long as possible. When really this game is it's not when you keep somebody there to keep doing mundane tasks that keeps somebody interested. It's actually having tasks that are fun to do either with friends or on your own. So regardless of how fast they push me to get me to the top tier levels to do the in game content, if the in game content is more of the same, why do I really want to play? I seen that they had like certain particular missions that you can do, but I didn't see any like raid things. I didn't see anything that was like engaging in that way where it felt like, okay, I need to play. Now maybe some mechanics there that I'm missing, but from what I saw, it was more of, okay, you get to unlock these. You upgrade your factions, you get rewards, you upgrade your character, you get to unlock newer missions, harder, difficult missions, and you get to go out and do these said missions online. There's a certain cap of how many missions there is. There may be boss missions, but there's nothing there that shows that, okay, now we have to get everyone together, so we have to go out and kind of fight this thing because it's really super hard, or we have to really come together and really have some type of teamwork. But I don't know if that's something I want to do in Marvel anyway. Like, I would rather than went the Marvel Alliance route where you just had so many different characters and you had so much stuff you can do. And, like, it felt like, just some more. It just felt like a more polished Marvel Alliance. And
Yeah,
this
honestly, if they
seems
had less, like every character had like half as many moves, but they were able to add more characters, I would prefer that.
Me too. I would have preferred to have the ability to play with so many more different Marvel characters, because I think that would be fun to collect and see a lot of the differences in like their play style, and just enjoy the game for a beat 'em up. Versus this, I'm expecting more because y'all got a big budget. Y'all obviously trying to put effort in the wrong places. You got the scams on the corners. You got the whole battle passes that you messed up on, and then you had to revert back to the free version, and now you're trying to regroup out of the hole you dug yourself, because just because it's Marvel doesn't mean people are going to play it. And people, just because you put it there doesn't mean people are going to accept your trash. So it should have been free if y'all gonna do that trash battle pass version. It Now you're making the right decisions, but everybody off of it. They paid their money. They thought it was stupid, and now they done. So I don't see them making a big comeback. But I would hope that they continue to kind of try to bring new, and and you know different experiences, like the whole Wakanda thing. I was playing that when I was just like, okay, this is pretty cool. We actually get to go to Wakanda and actually fight stuff there. But I'd rather them have maybe something more in line about what that city's about, maybe some more, so not just have this overarching aim as the bad guy arc. I'd rather them talk about something that's not about aim. Maybe that's a cool. Maybe the ending is pays off, but I don't see that happening. The writers aren't that good, and I don't like see a big payoff happening where it's just like, oh, this was
Yeah, because
well
we've been
worth it.
fighting AIM forever, and I feel like
Yeah, it's just
no,
not part. It's like I'd rather you have
yeah,
like small, you know, events and stories that have their own. Because I'm assuming the other DLC, because this one's the same, and I was like, they kind of, I'm a little lost because I didn't play the rest of them, so I'm like picking up the pieces on where everything's at. And I'm assuming that everybody was fighting AIM, or they had something to do with AIM. But I'm not sure about Kate or Hawkeye. I just didn't play it, um, but I know Black Panther. They're talking about AIM as well. They're fighting the robots. They have some unique spider things, but it's not enough to kind of make it seem different from what I'm doing when I go back to play the regular story missions. It's just like, okay, more beat 'em up. At least the regular story missions had unique events. You know what I'm saying? They had events where it was like, okay, now I'm flying through, this canyon with Iron Man's jacked up suit because he finna try to get another, his fabricator or whatever. So at least there were something moments there where I was like, okay, this is pretty cool versus just, I don't know. Right now, I just feel like it's missing something. Maybe I gotta play it some more. Maybe I gotta get to the end of the Black Panther missions to get to the real wow moments. But right now, it's just more beat 'em up. Yes, I like that they're exploring Wakanda. Yes, I like the characters are there. I just don't think it's at the payoff is gonna be worth my time because I already can feel it in my bones that nah. But I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully Karina's interested, so I have a reason to play it. But right now, it's just not grabbing me as much as I would want it to. All right, but yeah, what you
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was waiting for the Black Panther one because that seemed like at least it would be enough content to jump in and try it out. Because the game, you probably can get it for like $10, $15 now.
Mhm.
And I'll say it's if you really really want to play it, now would probably be the best time. Play all
I
through the
think so.
content, and then once you're done, you can put it down. They at least don't force you to engage with the multiplayer to play the single player stuff. So you mostly can just play all of those missions without ever having to like grind. Um,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I don't know what the future for this game is like. As far as I know, this was their like biggest expansion, and we know that they're supposed to have a Spider-Man DLC coming, but that's PlayStation exclusive. So I don't know how big that content is going to be because then if it's a lot of content that's missing for other players, that would suck. So I don't know. I think if they want to keep it, the best thing that they have is just probably, maybe obviously they got to drop stuff every couple months, but like if every year they can drop like a bigger expansion, like, this is Vision or this, Thanos is coming or blah, blah, blah every year, that might be enough to get people to come in at least yearly to check it out.
Mhm.
But like I wouldn't play this game week to week. Like I don't know what they got to do to like fix that.
Yeah, I just think it make it more fun. Make it more enjoyable to sit down and just play a few matches with people.
Yeah.
Make it more rewarding. Make it more engaging in that way. Because right now, it has to have something that entices people to want to play. And I don't want to say that it's going to be a PvP mode because that's not the end all be all for everything. Sometimes it's just having better system mechanics. The reason I like, you know, like I play Apex a lot is because of the competitive nature. The reason I played Destiny a lot was because of the competitive nature, but it really everything else faltered. I don't know what other game I played outside of Borderlands just for the fun of it. It was just stupid jokes and guns that I could play and become OP with and break stuff. And that's fine for that type of game too. You can just become like a crazily like a very strong character and just go through and your Black Widow is so much better than someone else's Black Widow. I don't know what the appeal of the game right now would be outside of just making it more interesting to play. But that's better said than done, to be honest. What's your take on live service games, Jalen? What's your favorite type of live service game?
Um, I don't, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I feel like they have like they seasons and stuff like that. But you talking about just like online game, whether it's like
No,
Something like
live services are different from like online. It's more as like those Apex of the worlds, those games that kind of get updates a lot and they don't really change. Fortnite, Apex,
Yeah,
Destiny, um, those types of like Avengers is one of those games now too. Outriders, those types of live. Even though they consider it not a live service game, Outriders is a live service game in my opinion anyway. But those games that kind of just get it Warframe, get expansions, and they kind of continue to move forward in that regard versus like actually changing the game.
so you consider Destiny one of those games then, even though it got a sequel.
I consider Destiny a live service
yeah.
game. Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, the at this moment right now, I would say Apex. Um, but that's just because of
So
I don't want to say it's
gameplay is
like
really truly important to you then, because that would be the only thing that brings us to Apex for you at least. Is truly just because you're not like you don't care about the characters, the lore, or any of that stuff. All you really care about is the gameplay. So really, truly, if the only thing that really matters to you when it comes to like picking a live service game would be gameplay, right? Or no?
yeah, I mean y'all know how I feel about like graphics and frame rate and like glitches and stuff like that. So I know I don't care about graphics. It's like like you when you can see everything on the screen and stuff like that. I just need like a game that's at 1080p, run smooth without no frame rate drops, and then just got like a smooth gameplay and don't be having like as many glitches or subjects, buggy or whatever. So Apex is good enough in that regard. But the one I had the most fun with, of course, is like Destiny because it was a bigger picture. Like I cared about some of the loot to some capacity, but at the end of the day, I just felt like it had a little bit more depth than what Apex has to offer. Um,
Yeah.
so I say
Yeah.
Apex is my favorite at the current moment, just because of the gameplay. I know I don't care about the other stuff. I ain't even know I had an arrow on them, so
Yeah, that's very, very much so true. Yeah, I think live service games are really hard for me. Because they can be simplistic in the format of you jump in and jump out, you can make progress, you don't. But Apex puts the progress more so on how your skills than progress in anything else. Like they just want you to be better at your skill level, and like they don't, they're not focusing on trying to make the more so they want obviously they want stuff to sell and the lore to be good, but I think the main focus of that game has always just been to become better at said game and use the stuff that they put in the game to become better. So they don't want to break that up at all. They want to keep the stuff the same, so they make it feel like whenever you drop on season 1, you come back season 8. Only thing changes how the map look, but really fundamentally everything is still the same. Grenades, whatever it may be, you know what I'm saying? So they want that to be the forefront, the core of the game, and that's truly what makes Apex good is because that core is still there. I think Fortnite does it a different way. They kind of know if you leave and come back, it's gonna be different, regardless of what you may think. They're gonna add stuff that's gonna make it really hard for you to get back into the groove of things. Because they got the building, people master builders. They have different items that they can use to kind of create automatic builds, and it's just so many more variables when it comes to that type of game that it's not more so about the competitiveness. It's more about the stuff that you achieve while playing. Like a lot of my cousins and nephews and nieces, they enjoy the game because they can go in, play around with some of the interactables, have a good time, and then it's not like they're playing it to beat somebody else. They really just playing it to have fun. They like the dance moves or whatever. They like the stuff that doesn't really matter to us. So there's live service games like that, and then there's other games that I think we kind of gravitate more towards the gameplay games, and that's what's with Avengers. It's kind of like, yeah, they had these cool emotes, they had these cool. Sometimes they had cool designs on their stuff, but obviously Josh don't like the Black Panther ones. But yeah, they have cool stuff, but I don't know. It's just missing like that factor where it's like, dang, this is really cool to chain this stuff together. This is really cool to make cool combos with a friend, or I don't know. It just seems something's just missing, and I find myself drifting when I'm playing. And I'm just like, okay, how many times I got to punch this square button? Okay, how many times I got to dodge? Okay, how many times I got to punch this square button again for he did? It's not like no real challenge. And maybe once we get to a challenging portion of the game, it seems fun again. But Borderlands was never
Mm.
challenging. It was just broken. And for me, it was like, okay, it's not a challenge, but I'm about to spam you until I get the favorite weapon I want. I have a goal inside of mine, and some of these games can pull me to that where it's just okay. It's about the fun. It's about that, and it's not about competitive and being better. Most games I play is to be better, but now there's only like a select few that I play that just fun. So I don't
I
know.
feel like the my thing is with the live service games. I mean, if a game is free to play, I feel like theoretically it should make it like an easier like entry, like a threshold, like a lower threshold of entry.
Mm-hmm.
And but I feel like with me, when I see those games and stuff, I'm not inclined to play them because I already know. So I got games that I like to play, ones that I enjoy, and obviously I'm limited with my time and stuff like that. But it's not necessarily just the money aspect for me; it's the amount of time I'm gonna have to invest in order to get some of these returns and stuff in the game. So with that being said, if I was to go play like a free to play game, I'm like, well, how much time is it gonna take for me to learn how to play this game? How much time is it gonna take me to, what I'm saying? I don't know how they're gonna do their drop system. Is it gonna be something like Apex where it's strictly cosmetics, or is they gonna drop something where like you get these items and stuff, you start working your way up, start getting legendaries? Like, is these items gonna make an impact on how I play the game and go from there? And I felt like with Apex that never was the case, so I could just kind of play the game and just kind of hone my skill versus trying to avoid spending, because I don't want to spend money on the game, versus like trying to spend money to get certain items and stuff like that that might give me a boost so I can get more to like the in-game content. And then I mean they don't always be having a guess the best gameplay type stuff. It's like, well, we got a little bit of story here. We got a little. I'm like, well, I don't really care about all that, and that's kind of why I have like the issue with it, and that's why Apex does a good job. Same thing with Destiny. Destiny's story wasn't there, but I thoroughly enjoyed like running in a Crucible. Like, I get on to this day and still enjoy Crucible, but a lot of games just don't really have that. They might be buggy, they might not be as clean, the gameplay might not be fully there, those sorts of things. Or they might just want some money and want my time, and I can't give them that because I know it's going to be um, I'm not going to get my return on my investment, which been my time, my money. So
Is live service games bad?
they not bad. It's
I
just I feel like sometimes I don't know, man. I just feel like some of them just be lacking, bro. Like they just be like corny looking, or they just don't be like, I don't want to play this game. Like it ain't no appeal to it.
yeah, I think that it might be a better way to play certain type of genres or certain type of games long term. Because like 10 years ago, what we'd be doing is buying $60 new Call of Duty every November. But now we don't have to do that because technically there is a version of Call of Duty that just sticks around and is constantly getting updated.
Yeah,
Obviously
Warzone.
they still re-release them, but eventually they'll figure it out. Whereas one Call of Duty and just keep adding to it, um, which is good because that gives you time to like keep your history with the game. You got your skill, you got all these things you unlocked. If you enjoy it, you can see the game grow over time and get better. So that's a good situation. The thing is, the point of a live service game is to keep players playing every day and also keep them spending money. So they're trying to find a way to keep it exploitive in some way of either they're exploiting your time, so you feel like you gotta get on every day, or they're getting your money. You feel like you gotta spend money to keep up. Um, so every game does that differently, but at least if the core of the game is fun, I think that's the easiest way to get people to keep coming back because it's fun. Like Destiny, like for the longest time, I hated everything about the way that they did things in the game, but the gameplay was the best around compared to anybody. So that was their strongest point. And so now that a game like Apex, it has other competitors, but in its style and genre, it still feels unique. And with like PUBG and Fortnite, nobody feels like Apex. So at least for me, who likes that style of game, I'll keep coming back to it. I mean, it's still, you know, exploitive in some ways. Like their skins are expensive, and then they have their limited time events where you really are incentivized to, spend
Spend a
money to
lot of
get this
money.
content. Yeah, and then their battle passes, which most companies don't do it, but their battle pass once it's gone for good. They recently came out and said that they're planning to find a way to reintegrate the old content that's from the battle pass to maybe come back in the future. But we'll see. Uh, but as long as the game is good and it doesn't feel too exploitive or it doesn't feel like it's wasting my time too much, I feel like I like this style of game. I still prefer, be able to just buy a game for $60, play it offline and stuff. But this scratches kind of like a different itch to always be able to get online and play with your friends and stuff.
Yeah, I think the standalone game, I feel like it's getting scarier for people to make them versus a live service. They feel like they can always update it, change it, make it new, fresh, and like even if they come out with a bad fumble the bag at the beginning, they can come back and really bring themselves back into the game. Um,
Maybe, but
that's what Rainbow
I
Six
think
did.
that
Um, you know,
I think that live service games are technically, well, it depends on what they want to invest, but are more expensive to make. And that's why a game like Anthem, even if it was mediocre or some people played it, that they're losing money every minute that the servers are still up. So they, going to cut out all of that eventually because they gotta they gotta reach a bigger audience than if it was a single player game.
yeah, but I think it's more. Yeah, you're right there that it's costly, but I think the front end cost would be. I think the expectation of the back end. I guess it's scary both ways because if you spent all this money up front and you never return it, it's bad. But if you spend all that money up front and it's a live service, maybe you can take parts of that game and make it different. Fortnite was not supposed to be what it was, but at the end of the day, they took a game that they was like, I don't care really much about. They start putting extra stuff in it, and that's when it became this popular thing. So versus, they still had the people up front that was buying it for the survive the night Minecraft type portion, but then really the true, bread and butter was the battle royale, and they made that off of just that alone. Like the characters, the assets, all that stuff was very already there. So they were building that world, and they just had it. So happened to have it to be able to switch the gears quickly. Same thing with Warframe, how it started with like a live service, but over time it kind of built itself into something new where people spend lots of money on that game as well. It's just it happens a lot, but I get what you're saying too. It's like a lot of people do that and they don't, make it. Um, so say for instance they go the For Honor route or they go the Rainbow Six route, they still charge you $60 to get in. So they make the front end of what that game cost them, but now it's live service. So yeah, they still have to keep making that money, but then they can have the opportunity to change, use that money they either received or money that they're going to receive from the live service, season pass, all that crap, and kind of go from there. So um, it's a play. It's like a really it's really a finesse game out there for real, for real. Um, I don't know what the best option is right now. I honestly don't. I don't think having The Last of Us Part 2, spend all that money on that game, and then for it to not be played anymore because simply it doesn't have any type of service behind it. Obviously, they're waiting to put out a multiplayer for it, but for that game to have spent that much of a budget on there and to lose all those assets like that, I don't. It don't sit well with me. But I don't like live service games either. I prefer my games to be standalone sometimes. And if they're multiplayer, that's fine. Um, they can't be multiplayer and suck like the Ascent right now. It's just getting worse and worse. Every time I read a story about it, it's just gotten brokener and broke. It's just like I don't understand that game no more. But there's other games that are really fun to play, and they were, lives or multiplayer and stuff like that. I don't know. I do live service games suck? Do they make it worse for people, or does they make it better? Because I feel like live service games make you put so much time into it. Sometimes you don't even realize that you're not playing anything else, and it takes so much of your attention sometimes that you feel like this no longer a hobby. This is like a job I do daily. And
Hence his name.
yeah, yeah, I think I don't know. It's I think it's still I think it's interesting. I would like to kind of take come back to that because I think that's an interesting topic about live service games
So,
and how they.
but you would say that is Apex your favorite live service or Destiny?
It's still Destiny because simply because it offers more, and I always will like to play Destiny, and I will probably play the Witch Queen to see what it's about because I was interested in their lore and they provide in game stuff about said lore. Outside of me just reading their articles, the comic books and talking to y'all about, hearing their one liners and Watson and all that. Destiny just does more. So that's why they still are my favorite service. But the gameplay has been lost on me now where I prefer Apex gameplay more than I prefer Destiny's. So they lost that category, but they still win because it's still a decent game to play. They have a terrible Crucible, but hopefully they fix it at some point and they actually start to care about their game again. They're doing a lot of changes, but not enough for me to go back and really put time into it. I'm always going to be good at the game because they don't change enough fundamentally to be broken. They only change just cheesy things people can do to you. Like your skill level is still high, regardless of what y'all think. When y'all go back to that game, if y'all just know how to shoot well, like we do, and know how to move around, corners, we still can win. It's not like it's difficult. It's just they do cheesy things. Like we used to do cheesy things when we used to blink and party crash. We used to do cheesy things where we used to throw, our Nova, our whatever they're called, the ones where they seek them. It was
Action
cheesy
boat.
things that you can do in that game to make it funny, but it was still stupid to play against. I'm like, bro, all he doing is holding this position and using an arc blast, arc blast, or it's like all they're doing is being a boring way to play, but you can still beat them because once they lose that special power they have, that skill come into play, and you ain't got that. You ain't gonna beat me with that. So that's where it becomes fun for me to play Destiny, but it's always going to be that way because they rotate in new trash. Like right now, the trash is unbearable for me. It's the whole ice and the all of that crap right now is just terrible to me. I hate everything about it, all of it. They need to just get rid of it, but they never will because now they introduced it, and the darkness is here to stay. But it sucks, and it's like a really bad mechanic, and a lot of people are abusing it, so it makes that gameplay not fun. So Apex never does that to the point where they won't change it. You see what they did this year. He only been out a week or a week and a half, and they already nerfed him. So they want to make sure their gameplay stays fun. They want to make sure it's not cheesy, broken, or like nobody's incompatible. Everybody's incompatible with something else. Destiny doesn't do that. So until they start doing that, they're going to continue to lose me when it comes to that. But live service wise, just because simply they do more and they offer a story and they offer more things to do, I'm gonna have to still give it to Destiny. And when I'm gonna play the Witch Queen, more than likely, I'm probably gonna give it another 40 hours of my life. But let's see. If it's fun,
Mm,
I'll keep playing it. If it's not, I won't. But I don't think I'm gonna jump into the Crucible. I think I'm gonna just do the PVE stuff, get the weapons I want, try them. But I don't think I'm gonna jump into PvP. I just don't think that game is really ready to make the decision to balance Crucible. They're not ready to do that, so I'm not gonna give it my time. It's impossible for them to balance Crucible and keep the identity. The identity of that game is to try the things that you earn in the Crucible. And if you can't try the things that you earn because they play different and they play differently from when they enter in the what's name and they separate it, that's gonna lose a lot of its identity. So there's really no way for them to fix that game outside of I don't know. Just there's no real reason. There's no way. There's no way outside of doing some really drastic big changes and separating the Disc Crucible from PvE. Um, they always gonna have a fight on their hands. PvE people gonna think that the PvP people are stupid, and PvP people gonna think PvE people are stupid because obviously this thing is broken, and they don't want it to change. So
They should let you vote to ban weapons or abilities before the match, like League do.
hey, that would be fun to play. That'd actually bring me back in if they people ban stupidity. I hate the fact that you can change anything you want. So it's not like they can't do. You can change everything about your loadout. You can change your class. You can change your grenade. You can change your jump. You can change everything. It's so many variables in Destiny that it's like, why not? Why not just allow me to block this from being able to be played? Why not? If you want to play Crucible with me, you gotta block it. If you don't, hey, you can play with the trash people that want to jump around and smash ice all day, but not me. So
Smash Ice, man. That
man,
stasis
that's
so
all
trash.
they did was smash ice. Smash
The
ice. Jump. Oh, smash ice. More ice. Smashed. Like, bro, this
man,
shit is
I
stupid.
thought you was cool with the ice at first, or maybe that was Jalil.
I was never cool with the ice.
Okay,
No,
that's
it might
more
have been
Jalil.
Jalil because recently he said it was straight.
Yeah, he
No.
said they balanced it a little bit, and it's like it's a lot better. And I was just like, no, I just seen a bunch of pickaxes and uh, ice pillars that was blowing me up, like stationary pillars blowing me up. I'm like, bro, what is going on here? I keep freezing. I use my super. I get frozen.
I played
I
like
see a
sport
pickaxe. I
matches not
die.
too long
Like,
ago. Stasis has become normal to the point where it's not like every person on the other team got stasis. So they have done something to change that. I just don't think me going back just yet is the right move. I feel like now that they have tried to reel it in, it's time to reel in the trash stuff that people play with. Like they switched to now you get infinite ammo on your primaries. That brings back skill for me. That makes it feels like okay, you're rewarding me for being skillful with my primary than to be crutching my shotgun or crutching my fusion rifle or crutching something else. That forces people to actually play with other things that may have. But then you got the people with the fighting lion. That's the primary, but they said they're gonna break that. They said they're gonna try to figure out ways to make it worse. So it's really hard for me to, trust them right now. It's a lot of stuff. We is I don't want to talk about Destiny too much because we can talk about it another time. But they trying. I just right now I'm just not convinced. But I think the last thing that we wanted to talk about, or I think it's two things actually, platform updates, and then it was Gamescom. So I can go over quick some platform updates real fast. PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 has finally gotten their expansion slots, but it's trash. Basically, if you ain't like really into tech, you probably will mess up when you first buy one. Not saying that it won't expand your storage, but it may not be what you're needing for like compatibility to actually run well or run PS5 games on it. It may actually still have to require you to transfer them over to the internal. And I'm not sure if it actually can do that, to be honest. I heard that it will basically not recognize it if it's not the correct compatible SSD. But hopefully that's not the truth. Hopefully, you can at least expand it so you can have another section to actually expand your slots. But they opened that up. No, it's too much. It's too expensive right now. It's too much money. I don't like that. What they also did was they allowed now for they actually did something pretty simple. They just updated their platform to show what game, what system that that game is for. So if it's got like a small PS4, PS5 icon, it's so much better than what it was before. They have recently introduced a way for you to not have to upload, download. I think that was a Ghost of Tsushima. You don't no longer have to first upload your data from the PS4 version and then download your data to the PS5 version for your saves. Ghost of Tsushima was the very first one that was able to tap into the PS4's saves without actually having to do that upload download status, or basically that step. So that's a good thing as well. So the PS5 has gotten, I'd say 2 out of 3 were okay. PS5 and the symbols, the labels being on there, the whole um, the whole save, upload, download situation. I don't like the expansion slot portion. I really think it should have been proprietary like the Xbox, but at the same time, the Xbox proprietary ones haven't went down in price yet. But I don't expect those expensive, you know, read and write speeds of those NVMe drives to really go down in price that fast either. Especially not for a 2 terabyte, bigger ones. 1 terabyte you might find a steal somewhere, but might not be the best
Yeah,
option for you.
but also in today's world where you got to worry about scalpers and stuff, I don't know. Hopefully they got enough of them so you got to worry about that. But those are like really high end parts, so I don't see Best Buy just having a whole bunch of them on the shelf.
No, me neither. It's just really, I don't know. I think it's bad, but I think it's also, it's supposedly supposed to been to give people the option to change or be able to pick their own. But I don't think that's much of the option there. So, um, yeah, I don't know. Uh, I guess what's some of the stuff you've seen recently on your Xbox, Josh, that you could run through? Things that you've seen that was updated recently.
Um, I don't know much about the system updates because this might like update secretly. It's just so quiet and it just update like I never see it.
Yeah.
Um, but it's been a couple games that are getting their next gen versions that I want to go back to. I
Hmm.
played Hellblade like last year, but they just re-upped it for the next gen, and I kind of go back through it again. I'm probably gonna wait a little bit longer just so I can like kind of forget more and go in fresh because
Okay.
it's a really story heavy game, so I want to go in with a fresh mindset. Um, and plus they've always been doing their was it FPS boost games. I don't know if
Yeah.
there are any recently that have benefited from that, but I think every other day there's a game that comes out. It was like, oh, we buffed it up to 60 FPS. Like Ubisoft just said they did some of the more recent Assassin's Creed games just got bumped up. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey is not going to be 60 FPS on the next gen consoles. So overall, it's good. I like to see that these games are getting allowed to use the full potential of the system now, and hopefully everything will just be able to run its best if they're not going to go ahead and just redo it and add ray tracing and stuff, but at least let it run at its fastest. So like Bloodborne, it'd be nice if things just go patch it, but they're gonna re-release it, so just see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think some of the things that some of the updates that I was seeing, like for Xbox Series X in the more recent time frames where they obviously it was a while ago, but they fixed quick resume. At first, it was a kind of a broken thing where it wouldn't work properly. Now you have the option to also see what games are in the quick resume mode, so you don't even have to try to guesstimate. They kind of give you a list there, which is really awesome. It's a really cool feature, to be honest. I think having the ability to have like 6 or 5 games suspended and just jump right back into exactly where you were is a really cool feature. They always have had this feature, but I just want to praise them for it. The ability to have more than one external hard drive plugged up. Like, the PlayStation 5 really doesn't like if you have more than one. So if I wanted to add another external hard drive, I couldn't unless I delete the other one or remove it and then plug in another one. I think it's very stupid. I have more than enough games where I can support. It should be able to support, more than just one USB external hard drive, but that's where the expansion slot comes into play. So hopefully that's something I can see that they steal from Xbox to kind of bring it over to the PlayStation because I really want to be able to just use more than one. There's also on the Xbox, there was a lot of fixes where it was a lot of fixes with like the Dolby Vision being added. Then there was the whole thing about the it's like smaller things like the frame. I think it was like the FPS. It was something about FPS as well that was kind of getting updated. Smaller back end stuff, nothing major. But I guess the initiatives behind the Xbox is really what's impressing at this point. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to think about PlayStation 5 right now versus the Xbox Series X and the positioning for longevity, I guess. Because I don't think either one of them are like in the ballpark to be leaps ahead of each other right now. And I won't say I want to give everything to Xbox because honestly, the Xbox is great for a lot of different reasons, but until they really start pumping out those, those real games that people really want to play, then I can't really give it to them either. I can just say that they're really good at services and they really have a plan. They have a plan laid out. PlayStation 5, bruh, they don't have no plan. They just literally are off the strength of type of going with it. Like, I really don't see PlayStation 5 caring about Gamescom. I see Xbox being caring about Gamescom. I see them wanting to bring more stuff out and provide more information about stuff. And we can kind of tie it all together. I just think Gamescom is something that's on their radar for PlayStation. I just don't care at this point. I don't see them bringing anything new. I see them probably introducing or providing more trailers for Forbidden West, and then finally officially delaying it. They might bring stuff for Deathloop. They might bring stuff that's coming out soon, but I don't see them bringing anything new to the table there. They could wow me. It's been real quiet over there. They could wow me and do something special. I just don't see that being the case. I don't really think they care. I don't even think they have an event scheduled. I think only one it does is Xbox, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be mistaken. I don't think PlayStation even has an event ready to go. But Xbox, they're trying hard for good reason. They fumbled the bag as usual. They shouldn't have done it, but they did. They're making up good. They're making up. They making up. They're making up the distance and they're bringing it together. They're bringing it closer. In my opinion, because I just feel like with the amount of press they get around, like the supporting press they get around Game Pass, the supporting press they get around just letting stuff work. I couldn't tell you, like, when I went to go visit my brother and I was down there, he was talking about how his PS5 hasn't given him issues. His controller broke. They want $70 for that thing. He can't use his PS4 controllers because they don't allow you to use it for the PS5, even though it do the same things. And I'm like, man, the Xbox don't do that, man. They let me use my old controllers. They let me do this. They let me do that. And it just seemed like their leaps and the bounds ahead, that the things that they were trying to cut off and stop, it just doesn't make any sense right now, especially when people are not like. And the world ain't in a space where they be like, okay, let me go buy another $70 controller. I'm not saying my brother ain't got it. I'm just saying it's like, why make somebody go buy something when they can literally use the same? I think those type of moves are just greedy. Oh, don't get me started on this Ghost of Tsushima thing, where it just seemed like they're greedy. We want to pay $10 just to buy, just to get a 4K upgrade for some stuff they already could have done for free. Like, I understand paying for the expansion, but Ghost of Tsushima making me pay $10 for some basic upgrades. And I have never seen that happen on Microsoft side. They always give you the upgrades for free. All you gotta do is buy the expansions. It just seems pathetic. I ain't gonna hold you. It just seemed like it doesn't seem the smartest idea. It seems like, okay, you're nickel and diming me. Are you struggling right now? You know how you feel like somebody's struggling because they nickel and diming you. Like, bro, you must be really out here struggling, bro. Because I don't understand how you need this little extra cash from me, especially when you could do you need some good graces on your hands anyway. It seems like they don't care about the good graces. They just really prefer to have the money. And I think that's going to hurt them in the long run, to be honest. I just don't think it's smart to be doing these moves at this moment. And I'm not saying that the PlayStation is like fell off, because it hasn't. Everybody wants one. It's obviously still a hot topic. I'm just saying that some of these moves they doing just don't sit right, and they don't make sense sometimes. I'm like, just why? You know? So I mean, that's where I wanted to leave it. I mean, if y'all have anything to add to that, or what's your expectations for Gamescom, stuff like that, I'll let y'all take the flow.
No, I'll just say real quick. I don't know what they're gonna show. Like, we know that they have games that they're working on, but I don't know what's coming out soon other than Halo. So I would like to see more Halo. That's probably one of the games I'm looking forward to most this year. But I don't know if it's too soon for them to actually like start showing more of it or not. Um, I otherwise I don't know. Like you said, Xbox, they have their things that they're really good at, and I kind of think of them as like a football team where they have a really good coach and a really good franchise, but they don't have the players, and obviously that's what people look for. And so
Yeah,
PlayStation, they got the team, they go out, they win their championships, and even though they're not doing anything else special, at least people know that they're good and they can win.
yeah,
So
yeah. I
we'll
think,
see. I think that eventually Xbox will get there where they will have a decent lineup of games that people are like really interested in. It just takes time. It's been, last couple years just building that framework, in which honestly that's stuff that I really really appreciate from like owning the console. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think that's a good analogy. Is that they got a good coach, not a good team. Uh, at least right now. I like Bethesda, but man, you know me. I like. The last time I played the Bethesda game, I think the last one I played was,
Well, you about to play Deathloop, right?
yeah, I
Well, no,
played
that's
Deathloop. Yeah, that's them, but it's
oh,
not
okay.
Bethesda. You know what I mean? It's not. It's like
It's owned by
they're
them. It's not just,
yes, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So their outer games I play, but their inner core games, the ones that made them famous, I can care less. But I really want to play
You owned by
Starfield.
Skyrim again?
Nah, man, I'm done with Skyrim. I tried to play that game 6 different times. Hate it each time. I was like, man, this who plays this game? Why is it so hard to find where you need to go? I was trying to get up a mountain, just trying to go meet somebody. I'm like, bro, this game's stupid. But obviously, people enjoy it a lot, so I'm not gonna, I'm gonna just poop all over that game. But you know,
And talk your talk. Not just fine.
and those games aren't that great. But Fallout 4 was not that great. But I think at least having those people there can allow their other teams to branch out and give a better game. You know what I mean? Like, this Bethesda acquisition, I'm not looking forward to none of their games outside of other people that's outside of but I'm looking forward to Bethesda games, but they're not from Bethesda. They're just published by Bethesda. And then there's the I like Evil Within, I like Deathloop. I'm looking forward to,
Doom.
those games. Yeah, I like Doom. I never beat a Doom, but I really enjoy the gameplay. I just never beat it because I don't know why. I just haven't. But you like certain things and aspects of those franchises, and then you comes to like the outer ring, and then you come to the people that like really make games I really enjoy. I really enjoy Forza. I really enjoy Gears, but that's pretty much where the buck ends. So they, buying a bunch of companies is really great, but now making them produce, polished, truly next gen games it might be a little harder. I ain't gonna hold you. I already know I'm gonna get some bangers from PlayStation, even if they suck at everything else. I know I'm gonna get some bangers. So it's really interesting. That's all. Uh, but I don't really have any other expectations out of Gamescom. Jalen, you got anything you wanna say before we wrap up? You got anything that you looking forward to from Gamescom? If you
Man,
see anything.
I know. When they announced that Xbox Series X price drop, that's gonna be a good day for all of us.
Oh my
Nah, just I'm
man.
talking, but nah.
Yeah, it's real funny. This is tune in next week for another episode of convincing Jalen to get an Xbox. I
That's
don't
gonna
know
be a
why.
good day for everyone, man. I'm gonna go ahead
Yeah,
and
I
throw up that
guess so.
money. And y'all gonna have an Xbox buddy on that mug. But until then, y'all Xbox, y'all Jalen was on the Xbox. So
Man, you got to get it for Halo. We gonna play Halo a lot. I know I am. Live service too. It's free. I mean,
man,
it's
bro, I
free,
started
man.
playing Halo back in 2012, man. I can't.
Man,
There's only so much
man.
you can take of Halo, man. Next to
Yeah, this gonna
Halo
be a
Waypoint,
better one, man.
Halo Wars.
It's
I'm
gonna
over
be a
here want to
better
play
one,
the
man.
what's the point and
Oh,
shoot
we didn't
Halo
even talk
games and
about
stuff like that.
them playing themselves. They ain't gonna have no couch multiplayer on that game. It was that and
Well,
something else.
campaign
Forge.
and Forge. It's gonna
Yeah.
come season 2 and season 3.
Dang, G. I understand Forge. That might be a little bit difficult, and it might be tied into Halo Infinite as a live service game now because it is. But dang, no co-op. Dang, y'all losing y'all identity. That mother better be cold too. I'm talking about. I'm about to have so many explosions. I gotta need to have everything crispy on that one. But we'll
Whiskey.
see. Crispy. We'll see, man. We also want to talk about the pitfalls and downfalls of Game Pass because some companies ain't getting paid out. At least that's what I heard from Outriders. Square Enix ain't giving them a dime, but that was interesting to hear. I was like, dang, so you mean tell me y'all got all those people on there and then nobody wanted to they ain't want to give y'all no bonuses? So yeah, man, I think there is some pitfalls to having Game Pass, but there's some upsides to it as well. Definitely upsides. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to thank you guys for listening. As always, if you like the content, don't forget to, click the like button or wherever you thumbs up it on wherever podcast streaming service you're listening to. We got it on Apple, Spotify, all that good jazz. If you want to see the actual video version, where I just put up some gameplay of us playing Apex, more than likely. You can always catch that on YouTube at my YouTube channel at BCD Universe. Again, that's BCD Universe. But yeah, as usual, appreciate y'all guys listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks with some more stuff. Maybe recap Gamescom, more information about that came out. Hopefully Sony did something, but it's all yet to be seen, people. But thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks. Peace.